I think Washington, there's no doubt that it's broken. There's no doubt that it's become personal. It's become vitriolic and acidic. People need to work together. We need to have these discussions. And I think the American people would be pretty impressed with the kind of discussions that, frankly, Republicans and Democrats have. We get along behind the scenes,
And welcome back. That was then freshman Congressman Adam Kinzinger in his first appearance on Meet the Press over a decade ago on the biggest crisis facing Congress back then. Negotiations on raising the debt ceiling. But those concerns about vitriol and dysfunction in Washington were before Donald Trump ran for president. And joining me now is former Republican Congressman from Illinois, Adam Kinzinger. He was one of the only 2 Republicans to serve on the January 6th committee, and he's out with a new book, Renegade, Defending Democracy and Liberty in Our Divided Country. And in that book, he mentions his first appearance on Meet the Press. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. And look, first of all, I want to start. What was it like to hear your comments on Meet the Press more than a decade ago? What has changed?
Oh, if I could go back and talk to that kid and tell him what the next 12 years is going to be like. Look, a lot's changed. I mean, back when I was a freshman, you could talk to Democrats. Republicans had our internal disagreements, but, everybody still kind of at least gave lip service to governing. And that's changed. It's turned into how do we make the other side angry? How do we demonize the other side? And the most important thing has become fundraising. So it's a real concern. Of course, Donald Trump popping into the scene and becoming a party unmoored to the truth is not anything I had in my prediction list. That's for sure.
Well, Congressman, on that point, last night's debate didn't seem to change the status quo. Mr. Trump remains the front runner. Do any of the candidates on that stage have a path to the nomination?
Well, I mean, it's obviously really tough, particularly when nobody takes on the front runner. I mean, I didn't hear many compelling reasons to not vote for Donald Trump. I mean, I could tell you many, but I didn't hear it from them. I think, look, obviously Nikki Haley is surging and there's a lot of eyes on her. Is she able to consolidate as people drop out? But I think it would be kind of simplistic to say that, okay, let's say DeSantis drops out, that 18% is going to go to Haley. I think it actually gets split. So as of now, I would say nothing changes. Of course, it's a year where Donald Trump is going to be facing justice, and that could make some changes around the margins.
Is there any candidate on that stage that you would support?
I like Chris Christie. I would support Chris Christie because he's telling the truth. And I think, for me, anybody that tells the truth, that's important at this moment. But, he's got obviously a pretty tough road to get there.
But after last night's debate and also after Tuesday's election, Republicans still don't have an answer on the abortion issue. Nikki Haley is calling for a consensus position. But what does that look like?
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't know. It's like the dog that caught the car. Say, we want to return this to the states. I think at that point, it's like, okay, then just leave it to the states and actually focus now on what I would call kind of pro-adoption policies, maybe federally, planning type stuff. That can be where the federal Republican Party should focus, but they can't help themselves. And they're pushing this 15-week, but then somebody wants 6, and they're internally divided. And what you saw up on the stage is you don't want to tick off anybody in the party because you need all their votes. So you just kind of hem and haw around the issue. And yeah, I mean, it's something that the party may not have a specific position, but each one of these candidates should have a position that they talk about.
All right, Congressman, let's turn to your book. You said in the first hearing, the January 6th committee's mission is to find the truth and ensure accountability. Donald Trump is the GOP frontrunner. So did the committee fail to meet its mission?
No, actually, I think we succeeded because we were able to achieve a lot more than I frankly ever had hoped when we got started. I think the DOJ's investigation is not just largely, I think it's solely because of the work that the January 6th committee was able to do. And ultimately, I never thought we'd be able to change the mind of, every Republican. I didn't think that at all. I certainly wish we would have done more. But I think in 5 or 10 years, there's not going to be a single person, this is just my prediction, in America that will ever admit they were a Trump supporter, because I think once this emotion's gone and this election passes, people are going to wake up. They have to. I hope they do. Wake up to just how bad it had gotten.
Well, one of the engineers of the election conspiracy theory and an ardent Trump supporter is now Speaker of the House. So why wasn't there more accountability for those lawmakers who were involved in efforts to overturn the election?
Well, we certainly tried from our end. We tried to even just do basic subpoenas, and they refused. And we knew that by the time we would take that, we were very limited on time, obviously. And by the time we would take that to the courts would very much demur and say that, okay, well, this is an internal House matter. And so there's only so much effort you can make. But now as they subpoena people need to be aware that they rejected theirs. Now, Mike Johnson wasn't one of them, but he actually, if you look back during the intervening time between the election and January 6th, almost 90% of the arguments that anybody cites that has to do with Constitution were made by Mike Johnson. As a constitutional lawyer, he twisted these arguments into a constitutional argument, which was complete garbage, by the way. And I thought it was amazing to watch the split screen of Jenna Ellis tearfully admitting she lied to the American people about the election, while also seeing that the barrier to entry to be a legitimate speaker candidate was you have to continue to lie about the election.
And Congressman, the New York Times called your book a campaign book in search of a campaign. Now, earlier this year, you ruled out a 2024 run for president. Is that still your position? And would you consider running on a no labels ticket?
No, I have no intention of running in 2024. I'd never rule out something like 2028 because, who knows? It's a lot of time. I'm not doing any of this as any desire to ever get into public office again. I just know that, that itch could easily come back. I just think people need to hear the truth. People, we're all cynical about politicians, and we should be because they've earned that. But my grand scheme isn't to plan some grand scheme. It's just to get out there and tell people, we've got a correct course right here. And particularly the GOP, it's very sick, and it's going to take some time to get back on course.
No Kinzinger Mansion Unity ticket?
Nope, definitely not.
Former Congressman Adam Kinzinger, author of the new book, Renegade. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course, you bet.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.